Assalamu alaikum, dear students. As I have already introduced, I have given the introduction of the poem, that is A Nation Struggle, written by Ralph Waldo Emerson. And I have already told you about the author, that it was one of the famous poet that's called as Walt Whitman. He called R.W. Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson, as his master. And one more poet, Friedrich Nietzsche, he called him as the most gifted of the Americans. Got that? Moreover, I have discussed with you the key elements of the poem, that is the rejection of material wealth and the power of people. Moreover, there is character and sacrifice, then there is action and determination. Today, we will go through line by line. Today I am going to discuss in that very lecture line by line explanation of the stanza. First of all, my dear students, you know this first time you are facing in your 8th class that the poet has questioned us. Here is the note of interrogation and you can see the note of interrogation here. This is first time in your syllabus. Maybe you have met that very question, but this is first time in your syllabus. So what is this called? When the poet asks a question, that is called as rhetorical question. This is called as
rhetorical question.
You know what is a rhetorical question? Usually we just question to get the answer of that very question. But here, when the poet is asking the question, he is not asking for the answer, but he is asking the question in order to focus on his point. In order to focus on his point. What he wants to say. So that's why that's called as rhetorical question. Second thing, my dear students, in that very stanza, you have to understand that here the poet has made a comparison. Here the poet had made a comparison. Or in other words, we can say he equates. He equates the nation that you call as country with a big building. With a big building. Same is the case. A building does have its foundation first. Then there are pillars in the building, then there is the roof. So the comparison is made, the comparison of a nation is with a big building. So by beginning that, what makes a nation's pillars high? What are the things, he questions us, that what are the things that makes the nation's pillars high? Pillars, you know, on which the building is based. So here, but in other words we can say, it here means rules and regulations. What are the things that makes the rules and regulations? Or in other words, the rule set of a country is called as constitution. What is the thing? What are the things that makes the constitution of a country so highly respected? Then he questions, and the question is incomplete in the first line. That's what the idea is continued in the second line, and there is no usage of punctuation mark. You know, semicolon, colon, full stop, note of interrogation, exclamation, and the idea is continued in the second line. And the idea is continued in
second line.
My dear students, it's called as enjambment. It's called as
enjambment.
It's called as enjambment. So here the poet question is, and what are those things that make us the pillars of a nation high? Pillars, in other words, means it's used as metaphor. I have already told you that the poet has equated the big building with the nation. Got that? So what are the things that make us the constitution of a country highly respected before the others, before the foreigners, and its foundation is strong? You know, every building has a foundation. So what is our foundation? The foundation of a nation is, it is ideas, it is principles. Got that? What are the things? Then he questions that what are the things that makes the principles of a country so strong? Strong, in other words, you know, powerful. Strong means powerful. Or in other words, we can say mighty, the synonym for that very word. So the first question of the poet is, what are those things that makes the pillars of a nation high? What is symbolically we can say, what are the things that makes the constitution of a country highly respected? Got that? And its foundation is strong. And what are those things that makes the principles or the ideas of a country strong. Then he makes one more question. What makes it? Here it refers to nation. Here it refers to
Nation.
What makes it mighty? Mighty means powerful. Mighty means powerful. And define means to resist boldly. To resist boldly. Resist, in other words, tolerate, you can say. You know, whenever there is attack from outsiders, from our foreigners, okay, our soldiers remain there, they stand there, they resist there, they tolerate there, they do not run away just like us. They do not run away. What is the thing that makes the country so powerful to resist? Wherever we have to resist before our foes. Foes means our enemies. Foes means our enemies. That round it from, that are around us, at the borders, but they are in throng. Throng, you know, that's collective noun. Just as we call a shoal of fish, a bunch of keys, an army of soldiers. Same is the case here. Throng means group. A group of soldiers that are going to attack us. What is the thing that makes the soldier or that makes the soldiers of a country so strong to resist boldly, to stand there? This is all about in the first video. Hope we will get in next video.